Good day and welcome to the group presentation. My name is Brian Hopgood. I'm in the group with Taylor Portillo and William Coleman. In this class, this is Master of Sports Administration and Management, KNES-6153-SL13 for Dr. Dorn. The topic for today is our forms of ambush marketing by sports brands, simply clear, or promotional tactics. Well, let's get started. So we start with the question, what is ambush marketing? It's a marketing approach that consists of ambushing an event that a brand with notoriety has just to get their brand out. But also designed to bring public attention to a product without the cost to pay for it. And last topic on what is ambush marketing, the action is to divert attention and raise awareness to what you are marketing on someone else's dime. So we talk about the types of ambush marketing. Actually, there's two different categories of ambush marketing. One is direct and the other one is indirect. So let's talk about one of them. Direct ambush marketing. A brand teams aggressively use various activities to associate themselves with an event without being a sponsor or a partner. In direct ambush marketing, there are four types of marketing. One is predatorial, which is a technique that includes one brand attacking another. The other one is a coattail ambushing, which is a strategy that a brand aims at gaining exposure by becoming a sponsor or a person who participates in the event. The next one is property or trademark for infringement. That pretty much explains itself. It's a brand use logo, symbols, or phrases of another brand to promote its services, often lead to confusion among customers that will diminish the marketing efforts of that brand that owns the sponsorship. And lastly, in the types of ambush marketing, you have self-ambushing, means that the brand has sponsorship rights but gets involved in activities not mentioned in the contract. The next one is indirect ambush marketing. Doesn't necessarily involve association with an event, but it rather ties a brand to another brand. And so when that other brand is being suggested or referenced, the brand that it's trying to attach itself to comes up as well. This strategy doesn't include a brand that attacks another brand, but allows you to gain exposure. The examples that I have are exactly three types of indirect ambush marketing. One is associated ambushing, which is when a company associates itself with another company indirectly, kind of like attaching itself to one another. Distractive ambushing, when a company creates and distracts to confuse people of what the promotion actually is. And the last part of the indirect ambushing marketing is values ambushing. And that's when the same theme is used and values of both companies, which trick people into thinking that both companies are the same in the sponsorship deal. So we look at examples of each types of ambush. One is when one company displays competition for another company on their advertising. The other example is where a company advertises with some of the same materials that the other company has left out or not used, kind of like the colors or the setup, etc., which makes itself kind of look like the one, but it really is not. And lastly, last example of the type of ambushing is when one company that calls out the other company because they didn't get the deal through series of their own advertising, which means that they call them out on public knowledge.
Hello, my name is William Coleman, and I am for ambush marketing. Forms Forms of ambush marketing by sports brands are simply clever promotional tactics, and it plays a significant role in increasing brand awareness. An advertiser usually ambush the event by competing for exposure against its competitors. It is essential to avoid legal issues to successfully implement the creative marketing technique of ambush marketing without violating various rights. The pros. The pros for ambush marketing is avoiding sponsor fees, improving brand equity. It's a creative approach. It also provides freedom and flexibility for the advertiser. And also, companies can go off script from their initial content and styles. A benefit of ambush marketing is that done well, it can actually help brands cultivate and exhibit new brand attributes and values that consumers may not necessarily already associate with the advertiser. Ambush marketing is an easy strategy that helps companies in some situations to free advertisement. For example, when NFL players wear their sponsored Beats by Dre headphones instead of the NFL licensed Bose headphones. An advertiser usually ambushes the event by competing for exposure against its competitors. The advertiser does not pay for official sponsorship, thus avoids paying the sponsorship fees as to why I'm for ambush marketing, which is quite expensive when one gains the benefit associated with sports property at the sponsor's cost. There are different forms of ambush campaigns whose purpose is to draw attention from a brand, normally the official brand, to a different one by using diverse creative techniques. For example, the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Nike distributed swoosh brand flags to fans throughout various Olympic venues, and also opened a Nike Center right behind the Olympic Village. That way, if athletes and fans can have access to Olympic Nike gear. And also, instead of matching the $50 million fee that his main competitor Reebok paid to be the sponsor for the games, Nike instead decided to ambush the Olympics to effectively reallocate its cost while still maximizing its brand exposure. Through this creative marketing strategy, Nike helped change the landscape of global sponsorship industry forever. Therefore, Nike is the prime reason why I am for ambush marketing, due to the continued success of coattailing off of others to increase their awareness.
Hi, my name is Taylin, and I'm going to be taking a stance against ambush marketing being just a clever marketing tactic. So, forms of ambush marketing by sports brands, they're not just clever promotional tactics. The authors of our textbook state that this form of deceitful advertising specifically targets the cognitive processes of the consumer, such as recall, recognition, and association with the brand, with the deliberate attempt to mislead. So it has a bad connotation already attached behind it as the purpose. Ambush marketers aim to build the perception that their brand is associated with the event at hand in order to boost their brand value. Although they can avoid the legal issues of trademark infringement, copyright, ambush marketers cannot avoid ethical issues. So it's more a matter of ethical than it is actually illegal by law. So these are just some of the examples of ambush marketing that we have seen at sporting events. Michael Phelps was not allowed to showcase his Beats by Dre headphones, so he had to tape them. However, he did a lackluster job. At the top, you can still see the Beats logo. And then Nike was not allowed to have any of their Nike shoes at the CrossFit Games. And so they said, don't ban our shoe, beat our shoe. And actually, the Reebok, which was the official shoe retailer of the CrossFit Games, came back and said, we did. So some of the examples of cons. So it violates the rights of actual sponsors and partners of an event. Again, this is an ethical issue. It's unfair to companies who paid for the marketing to be the official sponsors. That's an ethical issue. It requires quick response and detailed planning on behalf of the ambush marketing team. Since ambush marketers, they don't spend the same amount of time, months or years ahead, planning these advertising campaigns like the official sponsors do. They must be quick to create their advertising campaigns that are, number one, not illegal upon gaining information regarding the event as the event gets closer to the go live date. So they don't have the lead time that the official sponsors do, and they're just wanting to capitalize very quickly on the official sponsors and what they are putting out. It also relies on time and space. Ambush marketers only have a certain amount of time to build their campaigns and implement their campaigns before the consumer can identify and perceive who the official sponsors are. The whole purpose is they're trying to perceive that they are the official sponsors or they are officially tied to the event. However, if they take too long to actually implement and activate their ad campaigns out into the world, the consumers are going to know that they're actually not tied to the event at all, and they are just maybe frauds or phonies. Ambush marketers are constrained to certain spaces as they cannot infiltrate in, for example, clean zones. So at the Olympics and at the NFL Super Bowls, there are physical boundaries where only official marketers and the official sponsors can be. It also risks the brand's reputation if their tactics appear unfair to consumers. So again, if they miss their window of opportunity, they now have a lower perception in the minds of consumers when the whole purpose is they were trying to actually gain perception in the minds of consumers.
As we look at the summary for this presentation, the summary of ambush marketing, the pros of the summary: ambush marketing avoids sponsorship fees. It's cost effectiveness. It improves the brand equity. It's creative approach. It's a freedom and flexibility. It also, the company can go off script from their initial content and style. Those are all the pros in this summary. And as we look at all the cons, ambush marketing is risky. It violates rights of official sponsors and partners. It's really unfair to those entities that pay the money and you get all the credit, and you're not the official sponsor of the event. And lastly, the con, it can be hasty to try and participate in ambushing. As an event, as an ambush marketer, always behind on time and information. So when we summarize this whole situation with the pros and cons, as a company, as a marketing brand, they really have to sit down and really think what is best for them. Some companies start out with ambush marketing and end up being a title sponsor and start to sponsor events. So if I would take and summarize all this up, if a company will take place in ambush marketing, they do have to understand whatever happened they did to someone other company can also happen to them. And that can conclude our presentation for this topic. I'd like to thank you for listening and have a good day.